Hello and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we are in the Wanaka region of the South Island. Our mission objective is located just adjacent to Wanaka Lake. In this mission objective, we will be putting out these forest fires with the Bambi Bucket attachment for Taog Hangar's UH-1H. This mission here I created with Miltech Simulations Mission Hub for MSFS 2024. Mission Hub operates independently from 2024's built-in career mode, offering a far greater depth, flexibility, and content customization without having to touch Microsoft's inbuilt SDK editor. And if you stick to the end of the video, I'll show you just how I made this mission using Miltech Simulations Mission Hub. We are about 10 to 15 minutes flight time from our mission objective here in the Mount Aspiring Gorge. Currently stationed at Aspiring Helicopters Helibase. Aspiring Helicopters is a New Zealand company offering services like tourism, rescue and firefighting. The scenery you see before you is made by NZA Simulations and covers most of the Wanaka region. You may also be wondering why I showcase the Huey in its Vietnam context in the cinematic intro. I personally just think it's amazing that this helicopter is still flying and operating today, nearly 60 years after its deployment in Vietnam. In 1952, the US Army launched a design competition for a new utility and medevac helicopter. The pioneers at Bell Helicopter won this competition, bringing forth the XH-40, which later became the UH-1 Iroquois, or known as the Bell 204-205 model. So what makes the UH-1H so usable in this day and age? Unlike many military aircraft, the UH-1H Huey wasn't just retired after the war, it was repurposed in the civilian world and often retrofitted with modern avionics. The UH-1H Iroquois remains a versatile and widely used helicopter even today due to several factors. Despite being nearly 60 years old, it has managed to stay relevant in a variety of operations because of its adaptability, it's easy to repair, and it's cheap to operate. Its simple yet robust design, ease of upgrades, and proven ability to carry out a wide range of missions, including firefighting and logging, make it an aircraft that still has a place in modern aviation. The continued demand for versatile, reliable, and cost-effective aircraft ensures that the Huey will likely remain in operation for many years to come. So, let's get straight into a helicopter startup procedure and make our way over to the mission objective. It's looking very well modelled. It's pretty cool that we now have scenery we can walk through. Here is the Bell 205 with the high skid and basket configuration. Let's go ahead and jump in. Right, let's start with our battery. Turn off our low RPM warning. Fuel on. So I'm going to hold the starter down until 30 to 40% on the N1, and then slowly increase the throttle to 60% and then bring it all the way up to 100. Blades are spinning, which is a good sign. Inverter onto the main, generator switch on standby. And we should be ready to take off. This has to be my most favourite helicopter to fly to date in the sim. Really natural, feels and looks realistic. You can really finesse the takeoffs from skid to air. 10 out of 10, can't beat it. But anyway, we'll take off here and head for the gorge, and then we'll take a right east towards Lake Wanaka. Okay, we're at the mission objective staging area. I've got a hangar that we're going to land at and get out and put the Bambi Bucket attachment onto the cargo hook. Also, you can see in front of us we've got a few effluent ponds which we will be collecting water from. So this is a dairy farm, I believe, and we've got all the trees. We've got all the trees here that are the forest area that's on fire. Put it down here. Just roll the throttle back to idle. So we'll jump out here and put the Bambi Bucket onto the belly button. Obviously we can't see the Bambi Bucket in the basket, so we're just going to simulate here taking the bucket out of the basket and attaching it to the belly button. Okay, we'll jump back in the aircraft and get the throttle back up to full flight. So here are the effluent ponds I mentioned earlier. So we're just going to slowly descend down to the ponds and collect some water in the bucket. Try and hover. I haven't estimated what I can reference on, apart from my altitude indicator, how far I need to go down in order to make sure that my bucket fills up. The dust effects kind of is my indication that I'm down far enough. And also pulling up, making sure I'm not over torquing the aircraft as my helicopter is under load, and using forward movement to increase my altitude. So in no particular order, I'm just going to tackle these fires how I see fit. Now the key is to drop or trigger. I've got my release on the trigger of my joystick just a little bit before you're going to go over the target of the fire, which makes sense. You want to, you know, not drop it too late or drop it too early, but just right. Might be a good area to pick up some water. Might come back for this this stream here. Quite a good approach, coming around in the circuit and just flaring and dropping down into there. That might be a good another good spot to collect some water. I might skip this one here and just fly over, and I'm going to do just a loop here and try and get one of these back ones. Awesome sounds coming from the cockpit. Quite a steep approach here. I'm just slowly descending. And as you can see, I just entered the vortex ring state. My helicopter just dropped. A good analogy of vortex ring state is falling into your stagnant or disrupted air. So the blades aren't producing lift around clean air, it's all disrupted and stirred. So the blades don't produce lift and you end up falling into your own wake. Which is why you have to descend slowly for enough time for that air to move out of the way. I'm not sure if you guys saw that recent event where the French A-Star was descending into the lake to collect water from the Bambi Bucket and ended up going too far down, and his tail rotor got struck and he ended up LTE, and that was due to him descending too quickly and falling into the vortex ring state. So you end up losing altitude really fast. A side note from that unfortunate event, it's pretty cool to have vortex ring state simulated within the helicopter and the sim. And this helicopter simulates it pretty well. Again here, I'm making sure I'm not over talking and using forward movement to get lift. So again, using forward movement to gain lift when you're under load. You're using less torque if you're using forward movement to generate lift. So that's translational lift. I just love how this dashboard vibrates and shakes. It's really well done. So I'm going to come around here and land in this river here that I scoped out earlier. So I'm going to drop this bucket of water, go and pick up another one, and I'll just keep chipping away at these fires spread across the map. So I'm going to chip away at these fires, and I'll let you guys enjoy a nice time lapse, and we'll come back to debrief. Also, don't forget to stick around to the end of the video, because I'll show you how I made this mission within Miltech Simulations Mission Hub. So I've successfully extinguished all the fires and made it safely back to Aspiring Helicopter's helibase. And now I'm going to show you how I made this mission using Miltech's Mission Hub. Once you've purchased it and you've installed it, it'll show up as one of these tabs along here. So the Mission Hub is this tab here. Now pay attention to the skybox at the moment, and I'll touch on it later. So once we open up Miltech Simulations Mission Hub, it's a separate window. We've got your missions and create missions, so you can create a mission from scratch anywhere within the world. You add your title, description, and you can choose your mission type: training, search and rescue, firefighting. But I'll show you my mission that I made, and I've already got it created here, so you can go and edit it. You can edit your missions. So in this case, I started at Aspiring Helicopters Helibase, and I placed a spawn. You place a spawn with your left mouse click, and then you add scenario spawn. That adds a spawn point there. So that spawn is your helicopter, and you, as the character, will spawn next to it. So you click on your spawn, you can orientate it in any direction, 90 degrees, whatever. Put your bearing in there. Your state, so you can put it in a shutdown state, on the runway, ready to go. I'm guessing those ones are in the air, or you can move it around and place it where you like it. Coming over to where you want the mission, and in my case I wanted the fires in sort of dense pine forest area rather than national forest park trees. So I put them in this area here. Unfortunately, you don't have a satellite map view, which can make it a little bit difficult to differentiate regions or grass types or whatever. Trees. If you left mouse click and put in activities, there's your search and rescue mission objective. You got firefighting in this case. Place your firefighting node. You can set the amount of fires within the radius. So if I want a bigger radius, I can go 1000 and add 10 fires. Now I've noticed that the fires, so the fires within the radius will be randomly placed. So the 10 fires within the spawn radius, and I've noticed, I think they change each time you play the mission. I'm not too sure about that, but I think they do. So you want to be mindful of that if you want the fires in the exact spot you intend to put out the fire, or however you want to do your mission. So in that case, you'd just put one fire within 50. That ensures the fire is in the same place each time you open and start your mission. And then you just populate it that way. And you can rename the fire or the activity. And then you'd save and play the mission scenario, and it would populate the map with the fire objectives. And we can see this here. Let's play this mission. And it's going to do a cutscene, like how it does when you go free flight. Click ready, you have the mission objectives here. They will tick off as you extinguish the fire. So you can unsee and see that there. And then you've got your brief or whatever information about the mission. So one thing to be mindful is, if you can see that the skybox has now got clouds in it. So the sim will update whatever parameters you have in the mission. So whether you have it raining or overcast or few clouds or whatever, within the mission details, so your environment here, so we've got few clouds, that is within the mission. and that will populate when you click play. So that's pretty much everything that I can cover within the mission hub. There's a few other features and also different mission types that you can go through. But that's pretty much how I made my mission. Pretty straightforward, very easy, just click and place and play. If you've made it this far in the video, you're a champion. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.